I was around 11 when this happened, but it is something that has forever lived in my mind. A little background: my dad was pretty much a traveling farmer at the time. He didn't own land, or cattle or anything, but he did work for other people who did, and this would usually take months at the time. It was summer and he had just gotten a deal that would be about 2 towns away. My mom didn't want to be apart for 2 months, and we were already looking to move, so we decided that we would go with him after he found this house owner that gave him a pretty good deal. Now, the house was not in fantastic shape and it was built very weirdly. What I mean by that is that it was constructed very strangely. For example, when you first walked into the living room, the first thing you would see is 2 doors that connected to 2 rooms. To get to the bathroom you would have to go through these doors. There was other stuff like that don't necessarily affect my story, but the house just was weird to begin with. But at the time, with us only planning to be there for a few months and my dad getting the deal of a lifetime, since the only rent was pretty much fixing up things in the house, we took the offer. Now the thing was, me and my siblings personally never really stayed in the house. As I said, it was summer and I had other older siblings with kids, so my younger sister and I mostly stayed with them. We would mostly go over to the house with my parents a few times a week during the day, and then during the night stay with my older siblings in their kids. About a month down the line after doing this, my sister's birthday was in June. My mom decided to throw her a party at the house because it had a big yard and she wanted to rent out bouncy castles and be able to barbecue. The party started at noon and didn't end until about 12 that night. I remember it had gotten late and I had gotten tired and made my way into the living room where a bunch of my family were talking and cleaning up. I laid on the couch and in no time dozed off. Way later that night, when everyone was gone about 1 or 2, I remember waking up a bit. It was kind of that middle of the night waking up where you're all drowsy and half awake, but you just get up for a couple of minutes before going back to sleep. Now, the living room here was huge, but since just my mom and dad were living there, it only consisted of a few couches. I remember sitting up a bit to reposition myself so that I can get more comfortable, but out of the corner of my eye I saw this silhouette standing in a suit on the other side of the room. It was extremely dark, but I can make out the suit and what seemed to be a black man, although his features weren't clear. I am also black and so is my family, so I just kind of laid back down, not knowing what to think. After a few minutes of laying there, I just kind of figured it was my dad and let it slide. The person had not moved or anything, at least I didn't hear if he did, and I was still tired, so I just laid back and went back to sleep. Now, I will admit I was a pretty sheltered and naive kid. Never allowed to watch scary movies until about 15 to be exact, so it didn't dawn on me that this could be paranormal until years later, after we had moved into a new house, and I had just remembered the event and remembered the suit. It then hit me that I had never even seen my dad in a suit. That day in particular would be strange for him to wear one, since we had been outside all day and it was summer. I told my mom about the incident and the look on her face was shocked and dumbfounded. I don't want to keep blabbing, so I'll just tell you what I found out that day. A pastor had lived and passed away in that house, and he was known for wearing dark suits. I even got to see a picture of him and can pretty much attest that he was the man I saw. The suit alone is something I think I'll always remember. My mom told me she even had a few experiences in the house herself, which is a reason they actually left it a bit earlier than expected. To this day I just still wonder, why did he watch me? I would love to think I had one of those heaven is for real types of stories where he was watching over me to protect me, but something tells me things are a bit more sinister than that, and that I was lucky things ended the way that they did.